You know what the problem is that too many people that I used to follow and reblog are banned at this point.
Yeah, like a lot of people just kind of gave up trying to make reblogs because it was tiresome. Like I think I'm on my third at this point,
Yeah.
which is not a lot comparatively. Like some people have been banned. Like I think Luke, friend of the show, made it up to 14 before he was like, "All
What's
right, I'm not."
Max on the more racist Max?
Oh, more racist Max. He's on 10 plus for sure. Like
I don't want
he.
to drop his username,
Oh no, he's a protected species. We can't do that.
but
It was.
I think it's in the numbers there.
It
It's like
is.
14 or something,
It is. It's
which is more persistence than I could ever imagine.
for real. I think if it ever got to like I don't know more than five, I'd be like, all right, it's not worth it. Just move to
If
Twitter.
I Yeah, well, the problem is like I for some reason use my real name on Twitter,
Oh, that's a bummer.
and the problem with yeah, well, I wanted to have like my actual name as my own Twitter profile so that like, if I gained any prominence publicly that somebody couldn't take it at some point.
Fair
Because
enough.
I do like media interviews and stuff like that.
Oh, word.
Uh and so like I like talk like I have been added by journalists before in articles and stuff. And so it's nice to like own my profile where they like at me, and like people can go to my profile and they see that like technically I exist, but like there's nothing unsavory for them to find there.
You're gonna start
So
becoming like the Neil deGrasse Tyson Twitter
I
account.
don't want that. No.
Every
Mostly because
month you make a post about how if you only kiss yourself in the mirror, you can only kiss yourself on the lips or something like that. And everyone's like, "Hey Neil, why do you keep bringing this up?
Neil, how many times
How
a
many
year
times,
do
Neil?"
you try kissing yourself
Yeah,
on something besides your own lips in the mirror? Because that's the only way like you come to that realization is you're trying to kiss something else in the mirror.
yeah, it's not working.
And it's not like he's like overweight, but like I know he's not got the build
No,
to self suck.
he's dad bod for sure. I mean, he's
Yeah,
probably in his 60s at this point. I mean, whatever. Do what you can do. I'm gonna play the intro real quick. We're doing a little pre-show, and
that was a golden pre-show,
that
by the
was a
way.
golden pre-show. I was like, we need to make this live now. Little Tumblr discourse. All right, so we'll get that switched, and here we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Altar. Tonight, we've got a couple things to talk about. Some shit happened over the past couple of days. Taylor Swift won the Super Bowl. I don't know if anybody saw that. That was exciting.
Well, wait, was it the red team or the red team?
It was the red team. The red team always wins Super Bowls.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thanks.
And of course, somebody, aka some juveniles, some young scholars and future poets and doctors, shot up the victory parade for Kansas City. And what else happened? Oh, Trump was right again about being spied on. Max, did you take a look at that article I dropped in the chat?
I like the average media consumer read the headline. Actually,
Sure.
no, I did open it. I
Okay.
did open it. And it confirmed everything I knew from basically 2017, which was that they used the FISA court to illegally spy on Trump's campaign, which like if it was anybody but Trump, like people would realize how insane it is
That would
that
happen
like yeah,
before
that
the
you're
Russia collusion thing. That's the thing. Like that was before. That was early 2016.
yeah, it was before even Hillary Clinton concocted this Russia
Yeah.
collusion thing. But like the fact that like our government intelligence agencies that's nominally supposed to deal with like terrorists and external government state spy agencies was used against the main political candidate of the opposition party in office is just the most insane. Like if you thought you were describing like Fidel's Cuba or
This is like the beginning of a
Mussolini's
Tom
Italy.
Clancy novel, and it's like the explanation as to why China has to invade Siberia or some shit. Like, you just don't do that.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be a foreign government, right? It'd be like this would be the prelude to a civil war in Germany,
Yeah,
right? Like
exactly.
if this happened in Germany, which
Mm,
honestly it probably actually is with the AFD and stuff like that.
mm.
Um, but I mean, I guess the AFD doesn't really have enough political power to like initiate a civil war. The Republican Party does,
Mm.
is the thing. If they really committed to it. But so okay, let's think of an example.
Neither
If
Republicans or Democrats can commit to the bit fully. That's the problem.
yeah, that's true. But
But
like okay, in let's think of another like normal-ish country. Okay, in Sweden,
mm,
right? In Sweden, if the main like conservative party was in power and they had been using the government to spy on the leftist party and they had used it to frame the leftist party for treason once they got into power and then reassumed power, the leftists would start like car bombing shit
yeah,
in Sweden, like or
yeah,
Spain. Honestly, actually, Spain is the better example. Spain had a civil war over this exact kind of thing.
yeah. Actually, you're very right. But like, I was
Yeah,
actually just gonna say, like, yeah, there'd probably be like mass protests all over Europe about this shit because that's ridiculous. But
yeah.
because
Well,
it's Trump, it's
yeah. Just putting the foot on the other shoe. Spain in the 50s and 60s under Franco, like the government is spying on the opposition. They can't win an election because they're all rigged, and there's like constitutional limits on free speech. Everybody's getting like reporters are getting like disappeared and shit like that. Like the leftists were car bombing and like shooting up stuff, because they were the minority party and they had no access to legitimate political power, or they had no avenue to political power, right? And it was just the fundamental insight that I always liked from Rothbard about democracy wasn't that it was a great system, but it is a alternative version of a civil war. It's a
mm,
bloodless civil war. Um, it still is a civil war, right? Like it's always a cold civil war to have a democratic election, and it's always about who can like wheel and deal and steal the most votes
who promises the
and
most free
harvest
shit?
them. Yeah, who harvests the most promises, all that shit. But like at the end of the day, it's like a great alternative to like actually having to like get your dudes out and shoot everybody on the
This
other
is true.
side to
Yeah.
determine who is the war chief in town if you're going to have a war chief, right? Like I mean the alternative is to have a hereditary war chief
Mm.
as discussed by Hoppe, um, because property should be transferred by inheritance instead of by a democratic vote of non-shareholders, right? Like at least make it a corporate democracy, right? Like only net taxpayers should vote
Mm.
or something like that. That would actually make sense. But
I agree.
just universal suffrage is a disaster for the
Mm.
human race. Uh, so
So yeah, there you go.
I the other thing I don't post on Twitter or on Tumblr is I am just like have these reeling thoughts in my head about how to resolve the welfare state,
Mm.
and I wonder what your feeling is on that because like we're entering the inflation, and the government is going to stop being able to pay for shit, period, of the economic cycle here in the next decade. So I'm just wondering how you think this whole welfare state thing's going to play out.
Well, I really don't know, just because it always seems like there's always money for it.
Well, like Argentina got away with it for a really long time, despite even having like hyperinflation.
Mm.
Like they did better than the Germans did in Weimar, right? Like they were able to keep it going for like decades, not just like 8 years of hyperinflation. They're like, yeah, let's just keep going. We can pump this shit up.
How has their new anarcho-capitalist furry president been going for them? By the way,
Wait, is he a furry?
I don't think he's actually a furry, but he's weird enough. He could be. I don't think he is, but he is an anarcho-capitalist.
No, he's a self-proclaimed anarcho-capitalist. He is a pretty legit economist, from what I understand. Like he does write papers academically,
Hmm.
in economics. And sorry, I'm just looking at the forecast for tomorrow, which is determining whether I'm going to go to work or not.
Ah, I wish I had that
Um,
luxury.
um,
Goddamn liberal.
yeah. Okay. Anyways, the Millet. Well, he went to Rome and he like kissed ass with the Pope, which like whatever.
Sure.
He met up with the blonde girl that's like a fake conservative that runs Italy, Maloney
Oh,
or Malona.
her, yeah, Moroni.
Um, but like there was a note there that he's the only like world leader who can fly on an economy.
Hmm. Really?
Nobody hates him yet.
Ah, this is true. Okay.
Yeah. So he's not like well, like I think other people from other countries, they're like, okay, sure, he might uh, uh, deranged leftists would like try to like, stab him with a toothbrush or something like that. But they're also like, he's the president of Argentina. It doesn't really matter that much. And like, I guess they elected him, which is like, you at the end of the day, you have to be like, okay, so you're like, democracy is the highest altar that you're gonna elevate. And here we go. We got the guy that doesn't believe in democracy elected
For
in
all
your
we know,
democratic system.
there's like somewhere in Argentina, there's like some fucking pissed off leftist who thinks they're building like a copy of the whatamajigget that they used to kill Shinzo Abe, just from like the few pictures they've seen. They're just trying to recreate it in their garage.
I mean, okay. I don't want to give some shitty leftists an advantage that they don't deserve, but our viewership is not high enough to warrant this
True.
level of concern. All the 3D printed gun files are online, and if you can't figure out how to make one, then
Why not just head over to the hardware
your
store and
IQ is
make
too
yourself?
low. If you can't figure out how to 3D print a gun, your IQ is too low to have a valid political opinion. So you shouldn't assassinate anybody anyways.
Listen, if you can build a
Is that
Wamboozleator,
is
you
that a
can do it.
valid
Like,
like metric to rise above?
I suppose, yes, you have to have a 3D printer, then your revolution is valid. If you just build a
Well, not even that.
Wamboozleator
No,
at Home
like
Depot, it's
knowing
not.
knowing how to like orient the file and print it in the right direction,
Hmm.
and like, oh, I have to go to the hardware store and get the right stuff, like, and screw it in. Like, if you can't even do that, like basic level of assembly, then like, yeah, there's no chance that your IQ level rises to a high enough part where your political opinions will be valid enough that it's worthwhile that you assassinate anybody.
Hmm. So what
So
you're saying is anybody who shops at IKEA has the legal right to assassinate anyone they want.
yeah, they're like a samurai
Okay.
in the Edo period,
All right.
right? Like they could test out their sword on anyone, you know.
Any homeless person they find at a crossroads, they can just cut him down. Just
What,
test drive it real quick.
we've got an awful lot of homeless people out there,
We do. We should bring
and
that
an
back.
awful lot of guns that have never been fired at people.
Yeah, man.
Like, look at all these concealed carry permits. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna get removed for
Yeah,
saying
actually,
something
yeah.
like
Hold on. Yeah,
that.
let's totally not like, advocate anybody practice a bill drill on homeless Bob. Let's not do that.
What's the scene from American Psycho where he goes up to the bum? He's like, "You lazy piece of shit."
Oh yeah, he kills his dog and fucking stabs him.
I don't like it. It's interesting because it's like there's valid types of bums and there's unvalid bums,
Yeah,
right? There's both.
and that was a valid bum. He broke bum law.
Yeah, he did. Right. Like that bum deserved to live.
Exactly. The one that like wipes his penis on your windshield though, that's he can go.
Oh, totally. Right. Yeah, just a useless eater. That one.
Exactly. Exactly. Speaking of car parts, I finally got my truck into the garage, and I am down the river for 2,800.
For what?
So turns out I have to have both of my fucking exhaust manifolds replaced because they originally replaced the passenger side one, but they used an aftermarket part. So they're going to replace that for free, but I still need the driver's side one done. And I'm also getting my oil done, and I need to get my fucking front brake calipers replaced.
Is is it diesel?
No, it's gas.
Okay. The calipers on your the calipers?
Yeah, my brake
Not just like the
calipers.
pads or rotors?
So the calipers on the front wheels apparently were starting to just fucking die. Um, I need to talk with
I
them
mean,
about this tomorrow
notice the
because this is a little
did you
interesting.
feel like the brakes were soft or something?
So they didn't feel soft, but like there was definitely something grinding. Like it sounded like something was just like grinding on a rotor, and like it almost was like the caliper for some reason was just like impacting it.
I mean, were they that might be like a brake fluid problem where they're stuck closed or something.
No, like I mean maybe I don't know, but like they said the issue is with the fucking caliper. So that's fun.
Damn, you how many miles do you have on your truck?
It's like 115,000 somewhere around there,
115?
117. It's a
It's a
17.
F-150?
No, it's a 1500 Ram.
Oh, Ram 15. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But like it's a thing apparently. Like the exhaust manifolds on modern pickup trucks usually just start to go around 100,000 miles. So it's like,
Dude, the same thing happened like with my turbo, and
mm,
like I do drive like pretty aggressively in the mountains and stuff like that, so I can understand like burning up my turbo
mm-hmm.
at 100,000 miles. Um, but like the exhaust manifold, really? It's a
Yeah.
thing that they
The
just
problem
it's
too
not a
is like
200,000 mile part.
no, not with these. And of course, the fucking problem is in order to get to the exhaust manifold, you have to fucking lift the engine out of the fucking truck. So that's fun.
So, okay, just for my own edification, why do you have a truck?
Because it's fucking fun, man. Like, listen, I bought this thing 7 years ago. This is the first major repair I've ever had to do on
Okay.
it.
No, okay, that's fair. I just for the mileage and for the pain in the ass that is to park it
Oh, I
and
don't have a problem
make
parking.
really?
Yeah, no.
The Salt Lake or like the Utah roads are so fucking wide. I guess they're made for trucks.
I mean, I didn't really have a problem in New York either. Like, if I have to park a little
For
farther
real?
back and walk, yeah, like, you find room.
Okay. I guess I've always grown up or like lived in like old west towns
Mhm.
where they're like narrow streets and like narrow parking spots and stuff like that.
I mean, sometimes it gets a little like narrow in parking spots, admittedly, but like it's usually I can manage. Admittedly,
So
too, I have a
what's
backup
fun
camera,
about
so
it?
it's a V8, man. Like it's just fun to go fast.
Okay, but like you could have got that V8 in like a Camaro for like $10,000 less,
I could
or
have, but I also couldn't throw everything I owned at the time into the truck and a trailer on the back of the truck and drive it
okay,
across
so there
country.
was a utility to it,
Oh, for
right?
sure. Yeah, absolutely. There's
Okay, so
utility to it.
that was the question.
Oh,
Like I
okay.
guess with like I mean a truck has utility, but like on a day to day, like you don't really use it. I mean,
Not,
you could have
no,
rented a truck, right?
I could have, but
Like
I
rented a
just,
moving van
I
and
like,
then
I don't know, man. I
towed
like
your.
driving a truck. Like, I don't know if I'll get a truck for my next vehicle, but it's fun.
I feel like a lot of people buy trucks thinking, especially where I live in, you know,
Hmm.
the West, and you live in the West too, where it's like the thought is because like we're surrounded by ranches and farms and
Oh, no,
like
no.
stuff, like people feel like, oh, like buying a truck's the thing you got to do to fit in, and like it's what all the cool manly men do. And I'm like, I want like a Ranger, like two-door cab with like a 6 foot bed, like I can like camp and hunt in,
Hmm.
and like throw my skis in the back of the bed. Like a modern truck, you can't even like fit like a full pair of skis in the back because the bed's only 5 feet long,
This is true.
right?
Yeah.
And like the legitimately, there's more usable space in my fucking crossover for storage than a modern truck that has a 5 foot bed. Just saying. I mean, I know you can hang shit out the back, but like that's not really the point I'm talking about. Like as far as actual cargo space goes, like my crossover has more space than
Fair enough.
a 1500.
It's just fun, man. I don't know how else to put it, and I always just kind of wanted a truck.
I will say so for work I've got a rental for uh the weekend to like haul some shit out, and I've got a it's an expedition.
Hmm.
And actually, one of my first car was an expedition. And it was my dad's like duck truck, basically, right? Like a big old SUV that fits me and my brother and two dogs and all the decoys. And you can throw the float boat, you know, paddle boat on the top and get it out, a couple hours to, you know, shoot some ducks at 4 in the fucking morning. And I ended up totaling that expedition
Ooh,
because it's a boat, and I hit some black ice on a hill, and just Jesus took the wheel and sent me sideways into a parked car
oof.
around this curved hill. Um, so I mean, it's still my fault for like driving too fast, but also like, why did you give a 15-year-old? I was 15. Um, an expedition as their
Oof.
first car
You get
because
the
it's a
power of
boat.
God in your fucking hands, man. Like
Yeah,
that's
no, I could have killed so many pedestrians with that
yeah.
thing.
Oh, speaking
Imagine if I
of
was at a Kansas City parade.
speaking of boats, so they were like they have to keep my truck till tomorrow. So I was like, all right, cool. Well, I need a fucking loaner because I have to work for a living just the same as you boys. So they gave me this fucking hoopty ass fucking GMC Yukon that's like sitting on like 22s, and
Oh,
like
really?
it's I'll send you a picture later. It's fucking ghetto as fuck, but
That's hilarious. I think my shop's loaner is like a Jeep Cherokee, and I just never took him up on it because I've got my girlfriend's car, and I'd rather drive that around.
admittedly they were
So
like I live super close to the garage, so they were just like, yeah man, we'll drive it over to you, it's fine. I'm just like, all right, I appreciate it. So I didn't get to see it before I agreed to this, and they dropped it off, and I'm just like, oh fuck. Like it fucking smells, man. Like
What? Oh, it's just some loner and like somebody's like smokes in it and like eats a bunch of fucking Taco Bell and
like
farts their ass off.
there was a fucking Papa John's box like in the fucking passenger seat. Like
Oh
yeah.
shit. Speaking of which, I got my car back after like 3 weeks in the shop because like they ordered the wrong part and
Mhm.
then it like had to come in and it came in on a Friday and they didn't have time to get the job done or whatever. So okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, the fucking I like got it back and like the new HVAC like smell. One of the main jobs I had done on it was to get the blower motor fan replaced, and it just kind of smells like gas
Ooh.
now.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't smell right when you turn the HVAC on. And I was like, well, okay, maybe those guys are like crawling around in cars all the time. They're probably like sitting in oil soaked um, coveralls and working on the car.
Yeah, like sometimes when I take it to a shop, like sometimes if I run HVAC, it'll smell a little bit like a shop for like a couple of minutes, maybe, but it shouldn't do it for like an extended period.
No, it's been like a week now.
Oh, that's not good. No, that's really not good.
Yeah, no. So, anyways, what I was getting at was that I detailed the car because I
Mm.
was like, oh man, like I have to get rid of the smell. So, like I wipe everything down, and I'm like, I like detailed the car, like went through everything, and underneath one of my seats, I found a grocery bag with two completely flat, just dried husks of banana peel. These were not opened bananas. These were just desiccated bananas,
Oof,
mummified bananas
mummified bananas. Oh,
underneath my seats.
oh man,
Um, they were not the source of the smell. So I'm a little worried because I'm like, is there a gas line leak or something like this in my car
that
now?
that's possible, man. Like,
It fucking sucks because they did work on the turbo unit, which would have a little bit of influence on the gas line, I guess. I mean, that's
maybe.
mostly oil and coolant. But regardless, I was just like, yeah, I cleaned it and I changed the cabin air filter, and it just like it goes away after a minute or two, like of driving the car. But like every time you turn the H back on, you're just like instantly smell this like
Fumes.
you know engine smell.
Maybe your
It's not
car
what
thinks
it
you're
was.
Jewish.
Explain.
I mean, it's attempting to their gas fumes. It's attempting to gas you. Sorry, that sounded funnier in my
Oh,
head.
well, no, it is a Ford, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
it
Actually.
was awarded an Iron Cross by Hitler,
Okay.
right?
All
So
right. So yeah.
it thinks I'm Jewish. Yeah, I mean that's better, probably better indication than any genealogy test, right?
If a
Is whether
Ford
your Ford,
tries to kill you.
if your Ford vehicle tries to kill you or not, is a number one determinant of whether you're Jewish.
Yeah. I mean, that actually explains why also more racist Max drives a Ford or several Fords.
Mm. Okay, what was our last or what was our Kansas City
I mean,
shooting
so I don't know.
takeaway?
The only thing really is like they made a big deal about it, and then like they released all these like, oh, we need to support common sense gun regulations, and then they came out. I think it was like late last night or today. They were like, yeah, it was just a couple of juveniles having a dispute. It wasn't terrorism, and it's like, oh, it was a couple of juveniles, huh?
Well, okay, and then the other question is was okay, what are the stats for this shooting? Like
So
dead,
one dead,
wounded,
22 injured,
but okay, were they shot or were
shot.
they like trampled?
I mean, supposedly shot. I guess I don't know. The person who died was shot for sure.
Well, okay, that's okay, here's ABC News. You know this is going to be good because it's
Mm.
owned by Disney.
It's
The mass shooting that erupted at the end of the Chiefs Super Bowl celebration in Kansas City, Missouri, appeared to stem from a dispute, according to police.
mm,
The shooting, in which one person was killed and 22 were hurt unfolded outside of Union Station as Chiefs fans were leaving a parade and rally on Wednesday. 800 law enforcement officers were on duty in the area. 1 million parade goers were expected to attend the celebration. 2 juvenile suspects are currently detained and charges have not been filed,
Mm.
according to KC police. The department is working with juvenile prosecutors to review investigative findings and determine applicable charges. A third juvenile has been detained in connection with the shooting, was deemed to be not involved. Several guns were recovered. Half the victims are under the age of 16. Fire officials said the victims include 8 critically hurt and 7 seriously hurt. Um, Mercy Hospital said it received 11 children. So when they go to the hospital, they're children, but when they're getting charged, they're
They're
juveniles.
juveniles.
Anyways,
Oh, Kansas City.
yep, ranging in age from 6 to 15. I mean, 6
Wow.
is a child, right?
That is a
But
child.
hospitals did not specify if the 6-year-old was wounded by gunfire or injured in the resulting chaos,
Or was
right?
an
So
assailant.
that was my question, right? Like, because people get like, there's a stampede, people
Yeah.
get trampled.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, here is the stat. 9 of the children taken to Mercy Hospital had been shot. 3 of the victims are at the hospital on Thursday, and all the victims are expected to recover. University Health said it received 8 gunshot patients, 2 who remain in critical condition Thursday. So, okay, there were 9 children shot, 8 gunshot patients at University Health. So that is 17 shot. That's what I'm getting out of this, right?
I think you're correct. I'm too
And
inebriated
so
to count.
5 people got like injured in like trampling or something like that.
Okay.
Um. Anyways, okay. So we answered the question, right? So there were 8 gunshot patients at University Health, and Mercy Hospital received 9 children who had been shot. So that is 17. Yeah. So five were injured in trampling. Okay. And then 1 died.
One died.
1 person. So, regardless, I would say whenever you see stats like that, you know the gun was being held like sideways, right?
Just about. And there was probably multiple guns, like they were shooting at each other sideways and
Oh, totally. Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
mag-upping at each other.
Well, they're not even like looking, right?
Yeah, they're
It's
like, oh shit, they're
they're like turning their head and like just like it's they don't I almost wish like we could go back to like sword duels. It'd be less like injurious
that's definitely
to
less
the
collateral
general public.
damage.
Yeah, less collateral damage. And like they would have to actually like face the person they're trying to like fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know, when you draw and cross swords, like that's a thing. Like honestly, like a lot of collateral damage in like inner city violence would just be solved by bringing back sword dueling or even pistol dueling.
Mm.
Just make it single shot musket. Just legalize dueling.
This is
Is
what
what I'm
Kanye
getting at.
needs to do. This is his new life goal. He needs to legalize dueling, daggers, short swords, and antique pistols.
Daggers. That's fucking nasty. You know how close you have to get to somebody to kill them with a dagger?
You're pretty fucking close, man.
That's personal, man.
Yeah,
That's fucking personal.
get right up in there.
But if I mean Kanye could do it. He's got enough capital to like he could get one thing done.
He's also
Right?
got
Like
those
he committed
titanium or
to it.
platinum teeth now, so he can just like bite through your neck.
What?
He has platinum teeth. He replaced his teeth with like platinum dentures. You can look it up. It's fucking wacky.
Kanye teeth. Titanium dentures.
Titanium. Okay, yeah.
The artist formerly known as Kanye West.
Kanye West has
Okay,
lost his
sorry, I
shit.
my
Man.
ad block is getting in the way of me reading this fucking article from today.com. Okay, here we go. Yee officially confirmed that the performer got titanium dentures installed by Thomas Connolly, a Beverly Hills, California-based dentist. They are permanent titanium teeth. Fixed prosthodontics. They are fixed and permanent. This goes way beyond veneers or grills. And his particular implant is quite unlike anything that's been done before. Oh, he's like an experiment. Cool.
It's not the
It's
first time
like
blacks have been experimented on.
it's just like Tuskegee
He
over
is.
here.
Exactly. Yeah.
The sources say the implants are experimental dentistry, were designed entirely by Yee with the assistance of medical and dental experts.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
They were sure to clarify the singer did not have his teeth removed. Oh.
Oh, okay.
The teeth are made of titanium and other precious metals, including palladium and platinum. Um, Yee compared his look to Jaws, who appeared in The Spy Who Loved Me and Moonraker.
Oh, my
They're
God.
played by Richard Keel. Total cost of the install is rumored to be about $850,000.
This is why we should not have
Um,
given black people money. This is what they do with it.
Yee has previously done elaborate dental work. In 2010, he appeared on the Ellen DeGeneres show and told the host he'd replaced his entire bottom row of teeth with diamond and gold implants.
Huh.
Quote, I just thought the diamonds were cooler, unquote. He told Ellen DeGeneres, and an audience laughed.
And then Ellen
Um,
DeGeneres beat her entire staff with a whip while Kanye watched.
I always used to clean my jewelry with toothpaste anyway, so it works out.
Oh my fucking god! Don't,
He goes to the dentist all the time
don't,
just to maintain it.
don't clean your jewelry with toothpaste. Oh my god.
Right, yeah, it's abrasive. And
Oh.
like what do you want so like I mean, if you were to clean jewelry at home, like what do you use?
So it depends
Maybe
on.
just some like alcohol and
Yeah, isopropyl alcohol, depending on what it is, usually is a good bet. Like a soft bristle toothbrush. Tap water, if your tap water isn't like limestone milk, will probably be okay, but like repeated use of it might cause issues. Distilled water isn't a bad idea. You can get like a $50 little like ultrasonic cleaner thing that actually does a lot. Just use the soap that comes with that, and it'll clean stuff pretty well. Pearls and opals are fucking delicate little bitches, so they need like a special touch. But diamonds are they'll take most things. Like just don't do to jewelry what you wouldn't do to most metals, especially considering that's going to be on your hand and you'll be fine. Or bring it to me.
I've seen the ultrasonic cleaners. Like
They're
I
cool.
mean, people I mean, speaking of dentures, like right? Like aren't there the ones for like denture?
Yeah, that's
Um
true. You can clean your jewelry and your dentures in the same ultrasonic. I would not do it at the same time, but you can if you want to. Like I'm not a cop. You
I
can
mean,
do whatever
what's
you
the
want.
problem?
Yeah,
What I
true.
mean, that's it's all sanitary. It's just going on your body.
Yeah, an accessory is an accessory.
Right. And like you get back to it and it's like um okay, I completely forgot what I was going to say.
No, it's
There
okay.
was there was a joke in there and I lost it. Just disappeared before I could materialize.
The government's mind ray deleted it from your brain before you could produce it forth.
Yeah, I was about to have a
You
revelation.
got the Havana syndrome hookup.
I thought that was like, headaches and
I think it's just like government officials going out and fucking partying too hard and buying hookers
No,
and
it's
blow.
it's yeah, whenever you get a hangover in a country that is not a NATO
You're like, oh man,
country,
I got Havana syndrome. Can I get a saline
directed
IV?
energy weapons at my
Directed
mind.
energy weapons in my mind and my stomach. Oh, I need a
By the way,
sack of
directed energy
burgers.
weapons are not real when it comes to houses burning down in Lahaina.
Yeah, exactly.
But when I have a hangover in Berlin
I'm
or
under attack. I'm a victim. Uh,
nobody's ever connected the dots on that before, I think. Where the government was releasing official like memos on Havana syndrome and talking about directed energy weapons. And then like 2 years later, you know, people
Hawaii
are
burns down.
people are talking about DEWs in Hawaii, and they're like, "That's made
That's a
up." Like whoever
conspiracy theory.
whoever told you that?
When you QAnon, when you. Trying to think of what else we were going to cover. I think we hit most things. So we had a guy on Tumblr. His name is Posier. He's been around a while. He's like early OG Tumblr homie. Lives in Kansas City apparently, and he said he was going to try to come on.
Oh yeah, did we have we
But
checked the chat at all?
that
Like,
would have
is
been
he
a
gonna?
good idea.
Well, like on
No.
YouTube, I haven't seen anything. So,
No, YouTube, honestly, it's been kind of dead. We've had a couple people in. The chat's been like non existent. Our followers have failed us. That's okay. But yeah, Discord, nothing's going on. Last post was from like 3 o'clock. So, oh well.
I mean, or did we spring this Thursday on them like we do every Thursday? What's going on?
I don't know. Maybe everybody's just all mopey because it's the day after Valentine's Day.
Uh,
Oh.
who were single for Valentine's Day or what?
Yeah, but I worked all day, so I didn't get home until like 9 o'clock, so it didn't really concern me. Like I sold jewelry all day.
Oh,
I
yeah. Did
hustled.
you get
I
some?
hustled, motherfucker. I hustled all fucking day. All right.
I mean, yeah. Honestly, like you should have been rolling in it
Oh no, we
for that.
were. We had like a sales goal of 30,000, and we did like 50. So.
Oh,
Mm.
oh, you're
Oh
my
yeah, my
man.
man.
You're
So
my
yeah, that's
boy.
so all these sales are gonna fucking pay for my truck repair. I'm so grateful and blessed to have a job that allows me to pay for this. I'm just grateful for the opportunity, man. Nah, it's all good. Universe is abundant, motherfucker.
The Lord will provide. I did see a Twitter thread. Wait, before I go on this tangent, let's make sure we did all our what our topics were.
Jamie, hold on. Before I go on that tangent, hold on. Do you know if you gave a chimp DMT, do you think he could fuck somebody up? Like, I think he could, man. Like,
Dude, I saw a beautiful video of a chimp helping somebody up a play castle,
I've seen
like
this video.
one of those
Yes,
playgrounds.
it's apes together strong for sure.
Yeah, no, it was a touching moment.
It
I
was.
really liked it. We talked about the spy. We talked about the bullets. We talked about the circus.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about the bread. I mean, we covered it,
We
man.
covered
Like, what else?
everything, man. Did you actually watch the Bread and Circus on Sunday?
Oh, the Super Bowl
Yeah,
thing, the Superb Owl.
the Superb Owl.
Yes, yes. I watched most of it. We the first half, like we're having like dinner at a place,
Mm-hmm.
and the uh the bartender who was like helping us was sort of the genre of like too gay to function.
Oh, okay. That he was very light in the love it. He is not really a football guy, but he likes Travis
Well,
Kelce.
he probably poured out what would be like 4 beers to get one good beer out of the tap.
Wow.
Like he could not figure out the right
Wow.
angle and distance to hold
I
that
would spank my employee
glass.
if they wasted 4 glasses worth of that.
Well, yeah, there was a girl who was off of she was clocked out, but she's sitting at the bar like having a beer after her shift watching the Super Bowl, and she went over and had to pour the beer for her.
Wow.
Both times I ordered a
Wow.
beer.
Wow. And you know what? He doesn't see a problem with that. He's just like, ah, no, I'm not really a beer drinker. I don't really care. I'm like, it's my
So
job. I
wait, have you
don't.
seen this trend of the tattoo around the arm like a ring on men's arms?
Isn't that like a euphemism for like this is the farthest you fisted a person or something like that?
Yes.
Oh Jesus. Okay.
That is the rumor that I've seen on the internet. I don't know if it's a real
I've
thing,
seen some
but
people
I've
though, like
only
the
ever
rings are like up here. So like if that's the case, you're like knocking on their stomach, man. Like
you're feeling their pancreas, right?
yeah, like you're like you think about like what an intestine looks like in a person. Like if you do it right, like you're coming all the way around. Like you're like up through the colon, then you're over and then down. Like you're completely like shoulder deep at that point up this person's ass.
Shoulder deep.
Shoulder deep. But
But yeah, so I've seen those tattoos around, and I don't want to believe that that's what they're about. I want to believe that it's just like about like, oh, I liked this is, like a little segment of my arm,
yeah,
or like this is like a ring. I want a simple geometric pattern on my arm, like a band, right? Like honestly,
yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
that could make sense to me, but I only ever see that tattoo on gay men.
Yeah, like that guy on the Tumblr, the spastic twink who does the recipes from like the 50s.
He
He's got a
like
more legit
I
one. It's like right here, so it's like okay, yeah, I could see that. Like, ugh.
I might dox myself here, but I have several mutual friends on Facebook with him. I'll say that much.
Oh, 3 degrees
It's just like
separated from the recipe twink.
we're in the area together.
Can you message him and
Um,
tell him that he's known colloquially as like the spastic recipe twink?
I haven't.
Can you do this? Can you do
Um,
this for me?
I'm
You
pretty
must
sure one of
do
my
this for
employees
Smokey.
has dated him
Oh my god.
at some point. Anyways, uh, yeah, no, you only ever see that tattoo on gay guys, so
Yeah.
it's just like you have to assume
Or
at a certain
lesbians.
point.
Sometimes lesbians will do that. I don't want to know what they're getting up
I
to,
don't
but
know enough lesbians, I guess.
I know a few. Um, Oddly enough, I've known 2 sets of married lesbians who I've bought marijuana from in my life. That's not a lot, but it's weird that it's
Is
happened
that
to twice.
all? Is that all you interacted with them for? Is to
No,
buy
I mean
marijuana?
not all of it. I'd say that's like most a good chunk of like my interactions in New York with a lesbian couple is purchasing of marijuana items, but I don't know, man.
Okay.
I had a couple. I mean, in June you get one or two every once in a while. They come in, they want to buy rings. It's great. It's like, oh, 2 wedding rings. Like it's nice.
All right. Yeah.
Hmm.
Checks out. Um. Oh, but the game. Let's go back to the
Oh,
game.
the
We
game.
went on.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, total tangent about
I mean,
gay men who can't pour beer
and
and
then
have fisting tattoos.
yeah. Speaking of
So
fisting tattoos, yeah, it was decent. Like the first half was kind of boring. Second half and OT were exciting. The 49ers just fucked up. Like just bad play calling. They should have just fucking
yeah.
stuck with a run in like the third and fourth quarter. Like they stopped and you got to overtime and you want to receive the ball first because you don't understand the rules.
Well, didn't they fuck Mahomes could just not connect for the first half on
No,
the
like
passing game.
they shut him down like
Right.
cold.
Yeah, like that was there were two field goals, right? Like if
Yeah,
I'm recalling
there
correctly.
was, and
And
like the other thing too is like the Kansas City offense was basically like they were shot until there was that muff punt that the 49ers fucked up.
Mm.
And then it was
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
oh,
that punt was hilariously bad to watch
yeah,
because they, yeah, that just the touch, the lack of a fair call, the touch, the fact that it just rebound right into the guy's arms,
mm,
and they just get to pick it up on like the 4 whatever yard line to deliver a touchdown. That was all they needed, like the little confidence booster. So much of that game is like in people's heads.
yeah,
I mean, all sports really are, right? Like the performance. Like if you took somebody like out onto the basketball court right after telling them that, like, your wife just got knocked up by somebody else, and their reaction and like play would be just as bad as all of that stuff.
So actually, there was a time I remember last year where I was seeing this chick and she cut things off pretty hard and like it sucked a little bit. So it was like, you're like going into work like, oh shit, I just got dumped. I had like one of the highest grossing sales days of my entire career that day. And like normally I've noticed when I get like bad
I,
romantic news, like when I work that day, I like sell extra hard.
I think there's like a reversed horseshoe. Like if you're just in like a mildly bad mood,
Then you
like
don't
it
want to,
just
yeah. But like if you're
it
really, then you're just like spitefully
yeah,
slinging jewelry.
if you get spiteful, yeah, that's when you get motivated, right? It's like
Mm,
it's like a Hamlet shit, right?
exactly. Hmm. Well,
But so wouldn't it have been better if we had a Lions and Bills Super Bowl?
it would have been. I wanted a Lions Ravens Super Bowl. Could you imagine a
Ravens.
Lions Ravens Super Bowl in Vegas with Usher at the halftime show? All like the crazy ass black nonsense buffoonery would have during Black History Month. They had to put a stop to that. Roger Goodell called it in. He was like, Lamar, listen, Lamar, I'm gonna get you an extra couple million if you just like suck dick during that and you just lose, okay? And of course,
Well,
go ahead.
yeah, go ahead. Oh, well, how did we end up with well, Purdy's like white 100%, right?
For
And
sure,
then
yeah, he's like mayonnaise on white bread, white.
which I mean, I'm kind of surprised for San Francisco that they still had that.
Mm.
Um
And Mahomes
but
is
like,
like half black, I guess,
is
quarter
he half or a quarter?
or a
I don't
third. I don't
know.
know. He's like one half, one third white, one third black, one third Kermit the Frog.
But like all of the top, like all black, quarterbacks got shut out, right? Like
Yeah.
Lamar and Hertz
Mm-hmm.
and who else am I thinking of? Okay,
Packers QB Love, I think it was.
yeah, Love. Yeah,
Yep.
you're right. Um just, and actually I saw a very interesting Twitter thread about positions and race in the NFL,
Mm.
and how there was this uptick in the 80s, like all positions were getting more like black or Hispanic and stuff like that. And then
Except
certain
QB.
well, no, QB too, but and then there was this downtick in the 90s
Mm.
where like tight end and QB just became like whiter over time, which was really surprising.
Come to think of it, how many black good kickers have you heard ever
Oh,
seen?
I don't think there's one playing in the NFL right now.
Yeah, like I was just thinking about that. Like I can't think of a single one. That's weird.
Um the only black punters in the NFL have been Greg Coleman, who played from 1977 to 88, and Reggie Robbie from 1983 to 98, and Rodney Williams. Oh, wait. There's a few of these. Okay, so Greg Coleman, Reggie Robbie, Rodney Williams, Hodges. There's a lot of Reggies and our names in here. Uh, Marget King and Harvin.
Hmm.
What is that, 6? In the whole NFL, period.
Damn, that's not a lot. We need a
Not
little
a
more
lot.
diversity in
Kicking.
kicking.
It's called football, right?
Yeah,
So like
exactly.
it won't be totally desegregated until the people who actually put their foot on the ball are represented equally by
This,
all the parts of America.
yes,
It's interesting though that like uh the NBA nobody com- I mean conservatives make this point all the time. It's like nobody complains about the lack of diversity in the NBA because it's like almost all black. Even
yeah.
though like it's increasingly becoming like a Serbian league
This
like
is
over
yeah.
time.
Like what was that joke they made about like Baron Trump? They were like, "Oh my God, he's 6'8" and he's fucking Serbian. Like, please put a basketball in his hand."
He's too busy playing Hearts of Iron with Vladimir Putin.
I'm about to say, yeah, they're like reshaping Eastern Europe. Oh, that's another thing. So supposedly Advika is going to fall very shortly.
They what I had seen from the reports was that yeah, they were like 200 yards away from totally encircling
Hmm.
the Ukrainian position in Advika. Um which I looked on the map and I was surprised to see that it's like literally like the next town up from Donetsk, like
Yeah,
the
it's
capital
really
of the
close.
Donetsk Republic. Um, I'm like, wow, it's taken this long to like get there from like the capital of one of these breakaway, you know, oblasts, uh, to get just to that little part where you can.
Well, I mean, do you know how long it takes to really properly seize territory in Hearts of Iron? Takes a minute, man. Like you gotta build, you gotta get so many like Excel spreadsheets you gotta get in order before you can like get anything done.
So okay, they're what 8 9 hours ahead of us right now
I think so,
in
yeah.
Vika, and the Russians don't have as much night vision as Western armies truly do.
Mm.
Um, which is to say that they mostly move in the daytime still. So, but like, yeah, downtown Advitka is almost entirely surrounded, and they're all of like a couple hundred yards from just encircling the position there. And the unit is the third assault battalion, which is the reformed Azov battalion. They
Oh,
knew battalion had like bad propaganda around it. So they were like, oh, it's the third assault battalion
well,
now.
they're also all that's left after. Oh God, was it Maripol?
Mariupol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So yeah, I think they'll get encircled, and the thing about the Azov guys is they know they can't really surrender. Normal Ukrainian recruits and the rest of the army can surrender,
and they're going to be
or
processed normally.
yeah, they'll get processed normally, but the Azov guys know that they are fucked.
Yeah, that's
If
that's that.
um
It's wow. It's like almost like going into a military conflict where Totenkopf has consequences. Oops.
but I saw a great little Russian propaganda bit, which was there's this soldier and he's wounded and he's like in this muddy trench, and like he's barely conscious, but like these Russian guys pick him up. He's a Ukrainian soldier. He wakes up like in surgery, and they're like, "Oh, you'll be all right. We're gonna get you through this." And then he wakes up again. He's in a bunk, and he tears up his passport, and he's like, "I've made my choice. We don't have elections anymore." And it's like,
Wow.
man,
Wow.
because like Russia's having elections right now. Ukraine is not.
This is
Ukraine
true.
should be having elections, but yeah, this is one of the trending things on Twitter right now. Is Advika is that basically the encirclement is almost complete of the downtown position.
I find that interesting to suggest that instead of like, if they found a wounded soldier in a trench, like either side at this point, they're just like, hey man, send up the drone with the 4K camera and let's live stream this and let's just drop grenades from like 100 feet above him until he dies.
They I
It's like, fuck,
No, they
man.
don't really do that. I haven't seen that much. Okay, I have seen them like, there's there's some soldier like out in a position and they'll try and FPV drone bomb them and stuff like that. But like a wounded guy, they don't drop grenades on like wounded guys all
I
the
mean,
time.
I've seen some shit, man.
You have? Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, war is fucking hell.
yeah,
So I
exactly.
believe it. I believe it entirely. I just I'd assume that like, if we ever had some conflict like that, that there would be some levels of decency, like that you're not gonna just kill wounded people.
I mean, you would really hope so, but
Israel doesn't have that decency.
no, Israel does not.
Ukraine and Russia don't have that decency. The US doesn't have that decency really.
No, no.
So, what is there?
You know who
There's
does have
there's
that
really no hope
decency?
for that level of decency.
The Taliban.
The Taliban might not actually. What about the Somali guys
Actually,
in
if you have monetary value, actually, that helps too.
yeah,
Especially with
like you
Somalians.
have to fight a very poor country relative to yours so that like whenever your people get captured, they're going to get ransomed.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, oh my god, they're gonna ask for so much money, and they ask for like, we want 5,000 American dollars for the return of this hostage, and you're just like,
Wow, this is
you
I
want
don't know if we can do
cash?
it.
You want cash? Hold on, let me see. I don't know if we can do this. Everyone's like, your wallet.
This is really rough. Would you take 4,800
Yeah, man.
maybe?
Like, yeah. Do you have change?
You got to talk them you got to talk them down so you convince them that you're like, "Wow, that's a lot."
Yeah, man. I don't know. I'm gonna have to contact my country's treasurer and see if we can pull that out of the reserves. Give me a sec.
Yeah. We're going to have to liquidate some bullion.
How about all right? How about 4,000 and a 24 case of Mountain Dew Baja Blast? Okay, we accept this offer. Just a bunch of dudes around a campfire drinking fountain Mountain Dew before they get drone striked.
And then no, one of them's like, "I want the a gold AK."
I want a gold AK.
And you're like, "All right, we'll see if we can work that up."
Yeah,
And it's just like a gold spray paint.
exactly. Yeah, it's like some fucking like Zastava nonsense. Ugh. Well, folks, I think we've covered about everything we set out to discuss. Oh, JC did manage to join us. Thank you, JZ. New and improved Libtard Azov Battalion. That sounds awful. Ben gets the eye of the Jew when he faces trauma. He goes Super Saiyan with the sails. You're correct. Yes, my hair turns yellow, and I sell rings.
Well, it's like Fink from Beer Fest, man.
Yeah, exactly. Eye of the Jew. He's got the eye of the Jew. He's our anchor.
Those guys haven't put out a good movie or any movie in a long time.
I mean, I
Broken
think
Lizard.
they're. I think they were just kind of retired. Like they made enough money. They don't want to have to like fuck kids in order to move up in Hollywood, so they're just like, we're good.
Yeah, right. Oh, are we getting to the point where we have to?
Yeah, like I don't want to get that famous, man. Where like some dude in a trench coat shows up and tells me like for the price of my soul and some lucrative videos, like I'll be a billionaire. I'm just like, I'll just hang out with Vince Vaughn. I'm good. I don't need that.
Apparently, they did Super Troopers 2 in
uh,
2018, which I have not
I
seen.
forgot about that.
Tacoma FD is a sitcom series set from 2019 to 2023, and Quasi is a satirical comedy film.
Hmm.
Um, Written by Hefferman and Jay Lem and Chandrasekhar and Soder and Stolhans. Um, huh. All right. Well,
Well,
I guess they have been active lately, but it's like these are like indie films at this point.
they know their audience,
Like,
maybe
yeah, like I feel like what's the budget on this latest film? Had
$20.
to be $20. Yeah, it looks like it cost $20 to make. I would get better costumes at a fucking Halloween store. Doesn't say. It was released on Hulu. It will be released on Disney Plus via the Star Content Hub. What? because it's like Quasimodo.
Oh.
That's weird.
Hmm.
Whack. Okay, I guess
Whack and
they.
gay.
I bet it looks like I legitimately think like it's almost on the. It's just above an indie film.
Hmm.
Like the amount of funding it looks like it has. 99 minutes. They're just maybe they're cashing a check.
They're
I don't
cashing
know.
a check, man. It's like just nostalgia for 35 to 45-year-olds. Basically it.
Shame.
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 Beer Fest was like seminal for, especially for Coloradans, right?
Yeah.
Because it's set right there
Hmm.
in Colorado. Um,
It was
reminds us
just
of the good
it was just
good old times.
good old times when you just had like low budget comedy movies that were funny and they just didn't rely on like cheap bullshit. I mean, there was a little bit of cheap bullshit, but it was okay.
Hmm.
Maybe it
Well,
was just
they got the submarine commander from fucking like uh red what was the German
oh
U-boat
Das Boot.
film?
Yeah,
Das Boot. Yeah, and he's like the main villain, and they even have a submarine like scene with him, and it's like the most hilarious thing I've ever seen. But you have to like have watch Das Boot to enjoy it.
well
That
that's the
like
thing. Like when
that
we're
gag
talking like
pays
World
to
War
pay off.
45, like it's for like your dad watching it with you.
Dude, Das Boot's a good movie
It
though.
is a good movie. It's long, but if you can sit through Lord of the Rings, you can sit through Das Boot.
Well, just break it up. Like it's just have a little intermission like halfway through.
Hmm.
They pick up some fruit. Okay, time to
Yeah, make
go
sure you
to
don't get
bed.
scurvy. Something.
All right.
All right.
Cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for joining us. We discussed some important things and then some not so important things, and the not so important things after all this time probably were more important after all. And as always, we invite you to remember taxation is theft.